Good morning, knitters. I was just sitting here trying to knit in peace, but the Florida gnats are eating me up. Let's see what's going on. Come on. You're watching Recreational Knitting, and my name is Karen. This is where I talk to you about my yarn, my knitting, all kinds of things yarny related while we are traveling in our 40-foot motorhome. We started out the trip from southern Florida, 2019, and we all know what happened in 2020. Things got delayed, mushed up, 3 surgeries later. We're back in southern Florida, and I'm coming to you from Koreshan historical site in Estero, Florida. Those of you that don't know exactly where that is, it's between Fort Myers and Naples on the Gulf side. Well, I have absolutely no finished objects this week. I was hoping that I'd have a few, but life gets in the way. No finished objects, but I have some whips. My last 3 podcasts have been about finding peace and joy in your knitting, and I have this week the little bit that I really have completed. I'll show you my first whip in progress. Whoops, as I catch some other things. These are a pair of socks. You've seen this one before, still no heel. But this is what I'm calling my Ranger Station sock, because I take this when I go to work and I put a progress keeper in it. So you can see that I've done very little. This means we've been very busy. But I may get this done by the time we leave here. This is Knit Spin Farm, Sport Weight, Sock Club, Conifer is the colorway, and it's a Targhee, 90% Targhee and 10% nylon base. It's a great, durable, hunky yarn. I really recommend it. Yeah, it's really good. This is how much I have left, and that comes full with a leaf on it because we are in a campground. So that's my first work in progress. Really not a lot to show there, but we're busy. I don't know whether you guys have specified areas in your homes where you leave a project, and when you're in that room that you might work on that project. Well, that's what I'm doing with this. I think I showed you this sock. I think I've shown you a couple of times. Still no heel. It will be an afterthought heel. This is West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, sock yarn, in some colorway that has purple greens. It's beautiful. And this is where I leave beside my bed. And unfortunately, I haven't felt much like knitting on it. Part of the cuff, yeah, hardly worth showing. But it is being worked upon every once in a while. I'll pick it up, do a row, and say, Part of it is 9-inch needles, which I hate. And this will be the needles will be donated to somebody who will really like them. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. I forgot to bring the first sock that I'd finished. I'd shown it to you a couple weeks ago. This is a shorty. And you can see that I have finished the heel, and now I'm on the foot. This is yarn in the colorway Birdland. Birdland is hand dyed by Jennifer at Barley, Hops and Yarn. She has an Etsy shop, and we have a discount code for 15% off. That information will be below, but it's capital RSK, RSK 15. So go show her some love. It's lovely yarn. Haven't had any difficulty with splitting. It's been very, very consistent. If you're thinking about Halloween colors, this is a great one. Birdland is named after the Baltimore Orioles, Jennifer and my favorite baseball team. So those are my works in progress as far as socks go. I have a couple more works in progress. Again, not a lot, but I did finish the body of my Anchor summer shirt, my fourth one. So it's now got an end to it. This tends to, when blocked, pull down. So keep that in mind if you're ever using it, that it may be maybe a ½ inch longer if you're knitting a sweater, if that matters. I've started on the sleeve. This will be short sleeve like my other ones. This is made out of Barocco REMIX Light in the Night Fall colorway, which is a really lovely navy blue. And this is all recycled yarn. We all know that the textile industry is known for its waste of water, of fabrics, of all kinds of things, and this is one of the ways that some of those textiles are being used. I'm on board with it. This is being kept in one of my Fat Squirrel bags. That's the Fat Squirrel Speaks is Amy Beth's podcast. If you don't know it, you must. You must. Anyway, she sells bags, and she's a prolific knitter, and she's a very interesting and bright woman. We have some administrative kinds of things that I want to talk to you about today, and some prizes to share with you, but we'll leave those prizes to the very end. Let's see. I've already told you that we have a discount code for Barley, Hops, and Yarn, and it's RKP15. We currently have a knit along. It's under the Ravelry group, Recreational Knitting, under Spring Fling. I'll put it down here. And anything that you have finished from April 1st to May 31st is going to be a qualifying entry. If you can convince me that it's spring, I'm pretty easy. It's just to help you get some knitting done and maybe win a prize. Yeah, we will have a prize for that. What else have I got for administration? June 1st, I will be starting to knit, and let me pull that up here. I will be starting to knit a shirt that you guys voted on for me, Salty Air Tea by Rachel G. I'm just going to call her G, Rachel G, so I don't mess up her name again. I will be casting this on June 1st. It's not really a knit along, but we're going to go until September the 30th with this. Again, I'll make a Ravelry group, put your finished objects in there. You do not have to do this tea. You don't have to do another tea. You don't have to do anything in particular. All you have to do is finish something. And that'll be under Salty Air Tea. If you would like to knit it with me, that'd be wonderful, because I know that with lace, my eyesight and counting, it's gonna be a hot mess. But y'all voted for this. Look, it almost matches the color of the house. I have my needles and my yarn ready to rock and roll. This is Alba by Jody Lang, who has his own yarn line at this point. And I did a swatch. Now don't laugh at my swatch, because this is all I really needed. It's been blocked even, but look how tiny. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I just was casting on like crazy and whatever. So I did not entirely get gauge with a US 4, which is what it calls for at the Salty Air Tea. It's a little bit big by half a stitch. So I switched to 3, and I don't know whether you can see my purl bumps in there. That's how I tell what needles I'm using. So I liked number 4, even though it's a bit bigger gauge, and I really did get gauge on number 3, but I like the fabric better. It's a little more open air, and I think in Florida that would be more what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do some maths. Yeah, those of you who pray, yeah, you might want to get together and do some of that for me, because, you know, it's all about maths, and I don't do maths. Anywho, yeah, so I don't know exactly what size I'm going to be casting on. So I have about a week before that occurs. So there's my swatch. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to do anymore. Wasn't going to do anymore. All right, let's see. More administration, maybe? No, I think I want to talk to you about mental health. Those of you in the U.S. may have seen public service announcements on TV about Mental Health Month. And May, at least in the United States, I don't know if it's a worldwide thing or not, but it's dedicated to Mental Health Month, which is quite ironic when you think about it and what happens in the United States. Yeah. I won't get real political, but yeah. Mental health is a huge concern here, as I'm sure it is everywhere. So my last 2 podcasts have been about finding joy in your knitting, finding, you know, something that you really love. Don't be afraid to frog something if not finding joy in it. Put it away if you can't decide to frog. It's all good. This is a hobby, unless you are a professional knitter. And if you're a professional knitter, I'm not sure why you're watching me. But anywho, yeah, this is a hobby. It's like somebody going out and bowling, you know? It should be laughed, should be fun, should be light and airy and breezy. And when it doesn't feel that way anymore, something must change. Either your mental attitude or what you're working on. So my joy for this week was really working on those Orioles socks. That's what I call them. These, I didn't work a whole lot on them, but I think when I showed them last time, I only had like 4 rows of ribbing. I like making heels on socks, and this is just a really easy pattern. More about that later. Not this week, next week. Might involve a knit along in July. Just saying. Those of you who have never made socks, recommending. Totally recommending. But that aside, I have found joy in that this week. I found joy in working on my Anchor summer shirt because I knew that I only had about 5 inches to knit before I hit the end of the body. And then short sleeves, you know, it's only about 5 inches each sleeve. So I knew that, you know, the end is near and I would have a new garment to wear. So those were my joyful knitting moments this week. I really did. I pulled up my habituation throw. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. Habitation throw. Oi. I picked that up a couple times, worked a row or two, and put it down. Wasn't giving me joy. That and it's 90 something, you know. So I'm almost to the end of it. For those of you who are new, yeah, it's heavy and warm, and you don't want to knit on a blanket when it's that hot. But I do want it finished. So my goal for that is to have that finished by the end of June, I think. Yeah, that's my goal. Whether I meet it or not, I have a goal. So going back to mental health and finding joy, this week for practice for knitting in public, which is June 10th, that is the right date, I want you to go outside this week if you can. If you're in the place mentally, physically, if you don't have a space to knit outside, try to find a place. Go to a park, go to a Panera Bread, go to whatever you think would be comfortable for you, and just take a small project and see what you think. Sometimes a change in venue is really in order. I loved this whole trip that we've been on for 3 years because every time I would knit outdoors, we had a beautiful vista typically in the background, and the whole change of venue was amazing. And I want you to try to go outside and find a place where it's quiet. I want you to listen for birds. If there are plants around, I want you to look at the plants, all while you're knitting. Try to soak in the beauty of this world. The day-to-day grind will get you, but the nature part will rejuvenate you. And I do feel that that's what's missing for many, many, many of us. I want you to look up in the sky. Hopefully it's sunny. Just saw a bird fly. Look at the clouds. Watch them move. Are they moving quickly? Do they remind you of something? If you can, then close your eyes and knit. And breathe. Enjoy that process of breathing. Millions of people across the world have difficulty with breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Get rid of some of the worries when you do that. Open your eyes again and see if you can find a new object that you didn't see before. I'm seeing a new bush over here that has really lovely orange flowers on it that I hadn't seen before. If you have flowers around, smell it. We really don't take time to smell the flowers. Listen to the nature around you, whether it's nature sounds or city sounds. And find joy in that while you knit. Acquisitions. I get it if you don't want to see this, but I do have some wonderful happy mail from Kathy Janelle, who has made some beautiful stitch markers. And likely, she said I could keep these or I could give them away. And I think I'd love to give them away because they are beautiful. Here's one set. She makes these out of glass lampwork beads. They're beautiful. These are kind of a lilac, purplish, beautiful. That's one set. There are two more sets. These red ones, red orange, they are beautiful. I don't know whether you can see those well enough. If I turn them over that way, aren't they beautiful? These are really gorgeous. And then here are some purple lavender ones. They're beautiful. Again, I don't know whether you're able to see those so well. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. And I will be giving at least 2 of those away. That was very sweet of you. Then I ordered a couple things off of Temu. These are handmade labels. I'll probably be throwing in a few of those with prices from here on out. These were $4.49 for a package of 50. And light bulb stitch markers, multicolored. I forget what the price was, but it was really cheap. And then, what do you think I bought? If you had to guess what I bought, what do you think it is? I bought 6 skeins of REMIX. And of course, I don't know what the colors are of these. This is a light gray. And this will be enough to make a summer top. Yeah, anchor shirt, yeah. And this is called patina. And this is has a little brown greenish hue to it. It's very pretty. I thought that might look a little more fallish. So those are my acquisitions. I found those on Little Knits. They were about $10 each. And so for $60, I can make 2 summer shirts, which is pretty good. And then I think that's it. I think that's all I have purchased this week. So I'm trying not to. I'm getting in trouble left and right as the yarn comes in. Trust me on that. And I'm certainly not knitting that fast, as you can tell. So yeah. I have a problem. And I'm wearing this shirt so my husband will know that he just really needs to be kind. Thanks for sticking around. We do have some administrative. We have 3 different prizes to give out today. Jennifer or Lily B on 2 different platforms was a winner for the Whip Be Gone way back when. I never heard from her, so we're gonna go to a reselection, and Luke helped me with this last evening. And Joe off Ravelry, for your easy lacy caplet, you have won for the Whip Be Gone. Congratulations for the crowd, yay. It's a nice prize. I hope you like it. I didn't bring it. I'm actually on my bike in the park and only have a small basket to bring things, so I had to kind of like squish things in, and that prize would not fit. Please send me your address, and I've opened up the new email right across here, recreational knitting, all one word, @gmail.com. Just let me know what your, or you can use samplergal.1 @gmail as well. Then, for episode 55, Penny Gilbert wins a pattern of her choice on Ravelry up to $8. Woohoo! Yay, Penny! Crowd sounds. Yeah, all of that. Woohoo! Yay! Love it when you have a winner. I even forget what that one was for. I know what the next one was for, but you had to make a comment. I think it was just any old comment. It didn't matter. So that's great. Congratulations, Joe and Penny Gilbert. Again, let me know your mailing address and I'll get those, Joe, I'll get that package mailed out to you. And Penny, if you could give me your Ravelry name, and if you're not on Ravelry, let me know and I will get this pattern to you. So I realize it might take a few days for you to find which one you want. And for last episode, episode 56, we have, and I did bring that, we have this that we're giving away. It's called Fence Posts. It's by Knit Spin Farm. Debbie Stuckey is the winner. Woohoo! Yes, Debbie. Very good. Those are the winners. Debbie, if you could give me your address, that would be wonderful. So coming up, we're still on the Spring Fling until May 31st, so get those entries in. June 1st, we're casting on whatever you want to cast on, and see if we can all get finished by September the 30th. And that will be under Salty Air Tea on Ravelry. So if you finish, you can, I probably will have 2 threads, one where you can show progress, and the second one where you can put your finished objects. And then in July, I think we're going to have a little knit along and maybe some little tutorials if I can figure this out. I know several of you have asked me to do some sock tutorials. There's plenty of sock tutorials on the internet that are going to be much more professional, much easier to follow along. But I also understand that once you're comfortable with someone, it might be more fun to see that person. So we're all going to use the same pattern that I'm using for my Orioles shorties. And I'll announce that at the next podcast. And we'll all knit together, and we'll have sections that we knit together. And so if you're thinking about, let's try this, start looking through your stash. You don't need to go buy any sock yarn unless you don't have any. Look for something that is 75-25, 75 wool and 25% merino, nylon, 75% wool, 25% nylon, oy vey. And next week I'll tell you what the pattern is, and that way it's a free pattern on Ravelry. You can download it, start to look at it, get your needles together. If you want, do a swatch, and then July the 1st we'll start that. And hopefully by July 31st, we'll all have a new pair of shorties. That's the plan. So we have a lot of busy stuff to get going. I'm going to leave you with some pictures of someplace else that we've been besides Florida that I haven't shown you already. I think it's going to be the Grand Canyon, but don't hold me to that. I can't remember if I've shown you those already. So anyway, just to give you a break from Florida bugs that I keep swatting, and sunshine, I'll show you something else that has been beautiful. And on that note, knit in peace.